Are you interested in trying intermittent fasting but don't know the science behind it? I have 9 reasons why you should give it a try. Let's go. Reason number 1, the cellular effect that it has on the body. When you do intermittent fasting, whether it's a 16-8, 24 hours, 36, or even longer, your body goes through a process where it uses all of the glucose or carbohydrates that it has in the bloodstream, the digestive system, and stored in the muscle tissue or even the liver. And after it goes through all those reserves, it starts breaking down fatty acids into what are called ketones. These ketones can be used by the body and it allows for energy to be produced. The benefit of this is that you're challenging your body metabolically with what state it can be in. It can be in either a carbohydrate burning state or either a fat burning state. And so even areas like the brain can benefit from this, especially if there's somebody who has what people are starting to now call type 3 diabetes, or when they have basically an inability of the brain to use glucose. This is especially good for people who have diseases such as Alzheimer's. So people who are implementing intermittent fasting or just a higher fat diet may benefit from this process. The more often you do this, the more your body is able to go and clean out all the cellular waste, which we'll get to in a moment. This allows for the brain and the body to work more efficiently. Insulin is a hormone that your pancreas secretes when you've ingested any food, but especially your carbohydrates. If we are constantly having large amounts of processed carbs, our blood sugar is going to come up, and consequently our insulin levels are going to come up. Because of this, over time, if it's chronically repeated, our pancreas can get exhausted. If this happens, it can lead to inability of the pancreas to function well, and in severe instances, it can lead to things like type 2 diabetes. So having intermittent fasting in there really allows for that mechanism in the pancreas to work efficiently. It's kind of like if someone's always knocking on the door, maybe the first time it happens, you'll go right to it, check it out, see who's there. But if somebody knocks on the door every 5 minutes, every single day, every single month, you get the picture. You're going to be numb to it, right? Because all you hear is knock, knock, knock. Well, our pancreas works the same way. If it's always secreting insulin, it gets to the point where if we have some kind of carbohydrate come in, especially a sugary form or a more processed form of it, then it's not going to be as receptive. It can get to the point where, again, it's exhausted and it's not receptive. Our body really has a hard time controlling the blood sugar, which is huge. So have that intermittent fasting in there, and that will kind of recalibrate and reset that mechanism in the pancreas and the brain. On to the next one. Your body can go through a process called autophagy. And basically this is when all the janitors in the body come out and start cleaning house. And what this looks like at a cellular level from a scientific standpoint is that the body is going in, and if there's a damaged cell, if there's a cell that is old or it's just not functioning correctly, the body will break it down, and if there is anything good with that cell, it'll use that cell to build a new cell. And so this allows for anything that would slow down the efficiency and optimal function of the body, whether it's organs, whether it's the immune system, whether it's the muscle tissue, joints, what have you, the entire body will start going through this process. And so that allows for your body to not only work more efficiently, but it's getting rid of things that could down the road turn into things like cancer. Because those cells, if they're already damaged and they keep multiplying, then it's off and it has a higher potential of mutation. So you can literally help prevent cancer by doing this. Not always going to happen, but you're going to have a lesser likelihood of developing this kind of disease if you're incorporating intermittent fasting. On to the next one. You're going to have hormone changes. The good thing about this is that it plays in our favor. So things like ghrelin, which is what we call the hunger hormone, it stimulates your appetite, and things like leptin, which is both a master fat-burning hormone and what gives you a sense of feeling satiated or full, those are going to be going, again, like I said, in your favor. You're going to feel less hungry during a fast, after a certain point, of course. And other things that are occurring is you're going to have an increase in your growth hormone. So if your growth hormone is going up, your body's going to be more efficient at breaking down fat and maintaining muscle mass, or recovering and potentially having an increase in muscle mass. Our metabolism is going to benefit. We're actually going to have a slight increase during a certain period of this fasting. So again, anywhere really between 16 and 36 hours, we'll start to see this. We'll have an increase in catecholamines, especially like adrenaline. And so we're going to have a slight bump in our metabolism. So you'll actually burn a little bit more during this time. And again, because we're not bringing in any calories, you're going to be burning more fat. So this is great, especially if you have stubborn body fat that might not have as much blood flow, or it's not readily oxidized by the body. So this is great not only for people who are trying to get extremely lean, but if you're someone who's a little bit larger, whether you're overweight or obese, this is good for tapping into those stored reserves to use and burn and have a better propensity for losing body fat while maintaining lean body mass. On to the next one. Your circadian rhythm is really going to benefit from this. If you're eating during the day and not eating at night, your body is going to be in a very good state for getting good quality rest and feeling more wakeful during the day. Traditionally, going way back to our ancestors, all the way up until now, we don't eat during the time of the day when it's dark. So there's very little eating that has occurred in our human history after the sun sets, right? And so our bodies are programmed, the sun sets, we are no longer eating, and things start to cool off. We start to cool off, we go to bed, get a good night's rest. The sun comes up, it's nice and bright, the temperature starts going up, we get warmer, we eat, and the cycle continues. What happens nowadays, that the lights are on all the way into the evening, and we're eating during that time, it's throwing off that signal to our brain that we should be getting ready to sleep. This will really help to stabilize our circadian rhythm. You're going to feel more alert, you're going to feel more rested, and all those hormones are going to be a little bit more balanced. You shouldn't feel as stressed because you're getting better sleep, and your body is on this pattern that it knows very well how to work with. Our brain is really going to benefit from this, as well as our mood. So there are people who are hangry, but after they can get past that point of feeling a little bit more agitated because of the hunger, there's usually a very good sensation that is brought on by what is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. And this is essentially a protein that's released both during exercise, interestingly, so you can get it there as well, but also during times of restricted eating. So you can actually pair those two, and it doesn't have to be severe intensity with your exercise. It could be something as simple as a walk. So you could pair a walk during your intermittent fasting. You're getting the best of both worlds by having the BDNF from exercise and from the intermittent fasting, as well as burning those fatty acids that are in the bloodstream because you're intermittent fasting. You get a lot of benefits doing this. So this is a good way to implement if you're seeking out to increase your mood, to pair these two together. So if you've followed the previous step and you haven't eaten during the time that the sun set, when you wake up in the morning, you should be pretty well into a good fast. And this is going to allow you to be in that state very efficiently. You're getting the rising temperature, the sun, and you're going for a walk, or you're doing some form of exercise. This is going to be the most bang for your buck if this is your goal to get better mood and better fatty acid oxidation. On to the next one. Your heart health. This is probably my favorite one out of everything on the list. It can really help to prevent cardiovascular decline. By doing intermittent fasting or fasting in general, it allows our body to go in and clean out our arteries. It also helps to reduce triglyceride levels. It allows the arteries not only to be cleared out, but also to really get a little bit more of their pliability to them, their plasticity. And so by doing that, you can reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease. An interesting study that I came across was that people who changed nothing in their lifestyle, they didn't exercise more, they didn't change their diet, took one day, one 24-hour period out of the month, and they fasted during that time. Nothing coming in except your fluids and whatnot. And what they found was that they had about a 20% reduction in cardiovascular incidence compared to those who did not do a 24-hour fast. So this is huge. Compared to the average, you can reduce, your likelihood of having some major cardiac event, whether it's a stroke, whether it's a heart attack, just hardening of the arteries that can lead to catastrophic failure as well, or blockage. So this is something I would definitely recommend whether you're young or old. Just take one day out of the month, hit the reset button, and then you're good to go. So we have one more point. Let's go. You can live forever. Not really. But you can increase your lifespan. What happens is when you intermittent fast or you fast in general, that your body turns on specific genes for longevity. And this really helps the body to age more gracefully. The other thing that's occurring is that we have what's called telomeres, which is basically our body's signal that we need the cells to split. And when the cell splits, we make new cells and the process continues. Over time, this process doesn't get as efficient. It's like having a copy machine that makes 1,000 copies. That first copy is going to be nice and fresh.
Oh my God.
That 1,000th one, it might not even, well exist, because it's so faded out and you can't make what's going on in it. Our cells are the same way. By the time we get to that 1,000th copy, or that 90th year of life, that copy, that cell, it doesn't have the same capability as what it did when it first started out. So when we intermittent fast, it prolongs that period of division. So rather than happening quickly, it slows down. And in that slow division process, or slowed division process, I should say, it allows for an increase in lifespan over time, right? So if you're doing this chronically, then you can squeeze out a little bit more time in your time book, your timeline. Okay, the quick bonus is I have a 100% free workout, nutrition, and game plan in the description below put together for you that you can access today. I'll catch you in the next video.